morning. Good morning. I'm Sharon and I'll be your MC this morning. And today we welcome all baccalaureates and welcome to Makawao Ganji. Okay. Reverend Carey is under the weather. So he's not present today, but we will go along. Okay, please stand if you're able, and let's begin the service by singing the Danati Sarana together in both Pali and English.
Namo tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sammasambuddhassa. Homage to him, be exalted supremely awakened one. Buddha Sarana Gacchami, Dhamma Sarana Gacchami, Sangha Sarana Gacchami. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance.
Thank you. Please be seated. We'll now sing the Gatha Gasha with a meter, which will be found on screens, and this will be followed by quiet sitting.
Namo Amida Butsu. I recite Amida's name with deep joy and gratitude. I gasho with Amida, trees and grasses and flowers, all grow in great compassion. This light shines throughout the world. I gasho with Amida. Flowers bloom and flowers fall. From the seeds sprout new flowers. This is the truth unchanging. I gasho with Amida. Springtime brings the happy birds. Their songs all praise Amida. I join them in Nembutsu. I gasho with Amida. When I call Amida's name, it's Amida calling me. Buddha's voice, my voice are one. I gasho with Amida. When I'm lonely, I recite Namo Amida Butsu. Then I feel great compassion. I gasho with Amida. Nembutsu in work and play. Every day with Amida. Every moment filled with light. I gasho with Amida. Remember the golden chain. Kindness to all living things. I will follow this teaching. I gasho with Amida. In the clear bright morning sun, in the fading light of day, in the darkness of of the night, I gasho with Amida, Namo Amida Butsu. I live in great compassion. His great power guides my life. I gasho with Amida. Quiet seating.
On the first Sunday of each month, we remember all those who have passed on before us, honored ancestors, departed loved ones, dear friends, and beloved companions. During this time, we encourage everyone, both here in person and at home, joining us, I guess not by live stream, to offer incense as an expression of gratitude for those who came before us. Okay.
Oh
Okay. Birthdays! Yay. Okay. Who has a birthday this month? Raise your hand. Guess Kenneth lived here. On the first Sunday of each month, we celebrate birthdays, and here's a list of birthdays we know about. And if your birthday is this month, please come up to the front. And we have Mona Nakamura, Judy Hisashima, Eileen Tanaka, Ayaka Hamai, Sandra Inoue, Tyler Nakahara, Eileen Sato, Hannah Mounts, Alice Fukushima, Blanche Ito, Lyman Morikawa, and person that's sitting in the back, Kei Okuni, Hiromi Tanaka, Pearl Yamamoto, and Walner, Jimmy Okada, and Kerry Kiyohara. Okay, please come up and light your own candle.
I guess you're old enough yet.
Huh?
Old enough.
And anybody else want to come up? Tyrus, no candle, and no candle. Tyrus, there's no candle on yours.
No, this is I know it.
Where's Tyrus? Tyrus, go.
He is.
Come on, Tyrus. Okay, get your, go get your Tyrus. Oh, go get your, okay. My cupcake.
He doesn't want a candle. Okay.
Here, doesn't want to come with this.
How much is it? Go back to your seat. No.
You can go back to your seat.
Thanks. You pass down and just hold the. Oh, yep. Hey guys. Yeah, cupcake.
The kids.
Here. Make them come up.
Everybody sit down.
Anybody else? Come on up. Anybody else?
There's 2 more candles.
2 more candles. Come on, turn. Who else? Okay. All right, everybody stay in the front. In the front. Of the altar.
To your right a little bit.
That's fine.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, you do that.
Ready? Are we ready to sing? Okay, let's go. Let's sing. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, everybody. Happy birthday to you. Okay. I'm a firebender.
Drop the candles back.
Over there. Thank you very much. And let us now recite the golden chain of love together. Let's begin. I am a link in Amida Buddha's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I must keep my link bright and strong. I will try to be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all the weaker than myself. I will try to think pure and beautiful thoughts, to say pure and beautiful words, and to do pure and beautiful deeds, knowing that what I do now depends not only on my happiness or unhappiness, but also that of others. May every link in Anita Buddha's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo Amitabha. Okay. All right. Now we have our graduates. We are delighted to recognize and celebrate our graduates this year. From King Kekalike, class of 2024, Kaylee Okuni and James McCall. And from Makawao Preschool, class of 2024, Tyrus Lee. Okay, and do we have any other graduates this morning? Okay. Oh, sorry. Back up. Okay. All right. I would like to ask each of your, like Kaylee, would you like to come up and give us a glimpse of what's going to happen? And introduce your parents, and also, what are your plans? Okay? Come on up, come on up.
I'm going to go to UCLA to study biology on the pre-med path, and then to hope to become a pediatrician. So, what else do I say?
Introduce your parents.
Oh, my parents are Sherry Okuni and Robert Okuni. So, it's your turn.
Oh, wait, Katie.
Thank you so much.
Hello, my parents are Pat McCall and Naomi McCall, and my sister Catherine McCall, and I'll be attending Oregon State and majoring in psychology.
Okay, Mr. Tyrus. Come, Tyrus. Sister can bring you up. Tyrus, you want to tell us where you're going to go next year? You don't know.
We're going to put the money out.
Okay, no, I want to introduce mommy and daddy and grandma and grandpa. Can you go? Yeah. I don't know if you can go. Okay.
Hi. Nice.
Harris is going to Pukalani Elementary School for kindergarten. My mom is Cardi Gucci. And my dad is Karsten Lee.
Okay? Oh, yeah, Tyrus. Did you introduce your grandpa? Is that enough, Tyrus? Okay. Thank you, Tyrus. All right. All right, Tyrus, good luck at Pukalani Elementary. Yay! Yay, that's my school, that's right. Okay, now, we are delighted to welcome back a familiar face, Emi Hashi, who is the Children and Youth Activity Specialist for Honganji, Hawaii. Now, unfortunately, Emi won't be here, well, wasn't able to come because of a certain thing that COVID. But she has recorded her video message for our graduates. And we're so fortunate to have her do this. And oh, here we go. Emi is a graduate of, we can make it larger. There. Okay, thank you. Emi is a graduate of Makawao Honganji Preschool. And I always remember Emi sitting right in the middle. And she always had a book with her mom, right? She was reading a book about her grandma and her mom. Okay, and she's a graduate of Baldwin High School, class of 2011. Okay, like I said previously, regrettable causes and conditions did not allow for Emmy to join us in person today and as planned, but she kindly recorded a video message this morning, and she also becoming a mommy in August, end of August. So years have gone really quickly. Okay, here we go.
Hi everyone, as many of you know, my name is Emmy. I was really looking forward to being there today and seeing you all again, but unfortunately, just due to unforeseen circumstances, I couldn't make it. So I'd like to just share virtually some of my thoughts about today's baccalaureate service. The year I graduated from high school was 2011, 13 years ago. Long before the pandemic and live-streamed Sunday service, in the days when most people had dumb phones and texting was done with 10 buttons. The iPhone 4S was just released, Facebook was the top social media platform, and Instagram was launched just a few months prior. The final Harry Potter movie hit theaters, and the world was devastated by the 2011 Japan earthquake and nuclear disaster. Party rock anthem was all over the radio, and it was the year of Bruno Mars, as evidenced by his multiple #1 hits, and our class selecting one of his songs for graduation. Troy Hashimoto, a former junior YBA member like myself, was working in the state legislature and spoke at my baccalaureate service. Now, I don't remember specifically what he talked about, just like I don't expect any of you to remember any of this 13 years later. But what I do remember is that feeling of awe at hearing the words of someone who had grown up in the temple just like me and was doing great things with his life. I carried that feeling with me and couldn't wait to be a grown-up like him. 13 years is a long time, and back when I was in high school, 13 years felt like an eternity. But in hindsight, it's flown by in the blink of an eye. As a college instructor and 13-year-long college student myself, I've learned quite a few life lessons along the way. I'm not sure if I'm qualified as a grown-up yet, but Auntie Sharon asked me to speak at today's service regardless, so I'll share those lessons, even if they're still a work in progress. Alright, number 1, don't be afraid to take risks. Something that I've noticed in my students' attitudes is that the word uncomfortable has become a bit of a bad word. It's a label used to criticize and find fault in others. Things that are uncomfortable are seen as negative and thus should be avoided. But this belief ignores the Buddhist duality of nature, that things can be both positive and negative simultaneously. Uncomfortable is not inherently good nor bad then, neither good nor evil. It simply exists. Doing things that are uncomfortable for you can be an unpleasant experience, but it can also lead to growth. In medicine, discomfort can be painful, but it can also be a clue to the proper treatment. From the pain, suffering, challenge, and risks arises growth, freedom, learning, and empowerment. The lotus grows from the mud, or as they say, no pain, no gain. 2. Working hard does not always equal to success. This one can come as a bit of a culture shock, as often in school environments, you might be used to being graded on effort or how hard you've tried. Unfortunately, in college and life beyond, it doesn't always work out this way. Of course, you can't win a race if you haven't even entered to begin with. You must put in the effort and try your best to even start with. But there are some things that you will ultimately fail at least the first time. Don't give up. What's more important than the initial effort you put in is the continued effort you show towards improvement. You might not be great or succeed at everything the first time. In fact, you might fail a lot. But each of those failures are learning opportunities that will lead you closer to success each time. It's important to remember that although you may fail at some things, you are not a failure. Let go of your ego attachment, and you'll find it's a lot easier to try again until you succeed. Wait, take time to find your passion before committing. This one might be a bit controversial with your parents and counselors, but if you're on the fence about your career path and what you want to do with your life, I think it's better to explore your options now before you've invested more time and end up changing your mind anyway. When I was a freshman in college, I had to go to peer advising. I actually entered college with extra credits, thanks to dual enrollment and Ready to Start. But because I entered as a pre-education major, my advisors questioned why I was taking classes like women's studies, psychology, and astronomy. You're wasting your time, they said, and you're not going to graduate on time at this rate. It was the first semester of college. I took these classes at the recommendation of an older friend, and I'll pass along that advice. Taking astronomy was a perspective-shifting class for me. I highly recommend if you could squeeze it into your schedule at some point. I ended up switching my major at the end of my first year, and still graduated in 3 years anyway. Had I taken all pre-education courses for a full year, I would have graduated a year late because I hadn't found my passion yet. So, stay on track and take courses that will fulfill graduation requirements, but also use your first year to take those courses that are interesting to you before you commit to a major for the rest of your college career. The same goes for any trade or occupation or career path that you may be considering. Test the waters first. 4. Imposter syndrome is real and everyone is also struggling. Imposter syndrome is the feeling like everyone belongs and you are an imposter. It's easy to feel that way in college. You've gone from doing well and perhaps being the top of your class in high school to now being surrounded by others who are also the top of their class at their school. You're no longer the smartest person in the room, and that can be a difficult identity shift. But don't forget that you belong there. You got there just like everyone else, and someone saw that you were qualified for the position. It may look like everyone knows what they're doing, but they're probably just as lost as you are. When I started my master's program, I thought that my classmates were all so smart and that I had nothing to contribute. It turns out that we were all thinking the same thing. It wasn't until we opened up to one another that we realized that we were all struggling and feeling the same way. You are not alone. Which brings me to number 5, you are your own worst critic. It took me going to therapy until I was called out for being a self-bully. I didn't even realize that that was possible. But my counselor told me that over our sessions, they've gotten to know me as a person and saw me as something like a friend. And if they heard someone say bad things about their friend, they would be mad. Don't talk bad about my friend. She's a good person. So, why would you let yourself say bad things about yourself when you wouldn't let someone say that about a friend? It made me realize that I need to be more aware in my inner monologue and be kinder to myself. Constantly telling myself that I was a failure and calling myself names was letting me be a bully to me. 6. Your feelings are valid. Irrational emotions don't make logical sense. Maybe you're disproportionately upset about a bad grade, the dog dying, or the time that you spilled milk on your favorite shirt. You should not apologize for the way that you're feeling. They're your feelings, so no one else can tell you if they're right or wrong, an overreaction or an underreaction. What's important is how you process those feelings. Recognize what you're feeling, even if it doesn't make logical sense at first, to yourself or to others. Then, figure out the root cause or trigger of those emotions, the underlying need or motivation behind your emotions, and work through them. But the feelings are there for a reason, and don't let anyone tell you that they're not valid. 7. Protect your work-life balance. This is another potentially controversial one. I'm not saying to slack off and go to the beach every day as much as we might all want to. But it's important to maintain distance from school and or work. You're actually more productive when you're well rested and have had time to creatively and mentally take a break. Consider keeping your email off your phone so that you're not tempted to constantly check it. But do, of course, check it during school or work as needed. Take a true weekend off from studying and work. Protect your free time so that you can be more productive during working hours. You can't pour from an empty cup. 8. Find your people. I had grand expectations that I was going to make a whole bunch of new, amazing friends in college, and that it would be just like the movies. I tried attending freshman mixers, but it ended up being more of the same people, especially because I went to UH Manoa along with around 1/3 of my high school class. I found it hard to make actual friends in class because I talk and hang out with people in class, but then we go our separate ways. It never blossomed into true friendship, and I felt like there was something wrong with me. But in all of these expectations for what I thought college would be like, I didn't realize the lifelong friendships I was making. My friend group shifted from high school, but these are some of my longest adult friendships now. I was also fortunate to have the Buddhist Study Center nearby, and I joined the youth group and helped out with planning Yes Camp. These people are still my friends 13 years later, surviving a move to the mainland and various stages of life. You'll find your people when you stop trying so hard to fit them to your expectations and see them as they are. 9. A bit of practical advice: don't roam with your best friend if you want to keep being friends. I saw many friendships ruined after rooming together freshman year. If your roommate sucks, as they often do, you can complain about them to your best friend. But if your roommate is your best friend, well, I'll be honest. I wasn't a great roommate when I was young. I didn't know what my habits were. I didn't know what I needed in a good roommate. Years later, after we graduated, I was able to live with my best friends, and it was one of the best times of my life. But we were older then, and more experienced with living on our own. We knew what we wanted, and knew what we needed from others, and could communicate. Don't ruin your friendships by living together when you're still learning how to adult. Leading to number 10, friendship breakups are sometimes inevitable and should be mourned. Sometimes we grow apart, sometimes something hurtful happens, sometimes you just don't know why the friendship has ended. We don't often talk about losing friends like we do with romantic breakups, yet they're just as, if not even more, heartbreaking. I want to be optimistic and say that you'll keep all of your friends forever, but that's just not realistic. Especially as you move from high school to adulthood, you might drift apart from your friends since you don't see them every day. You can try to keep in touch, and you'll maintain those friendships that are truly important, but it will take work. You will eventually grow apart from some friends, or even partially break up. I hope you process and mourn those friendships, because as much as breaking up hurts, It shows how much you care about them to begin with. 11. Be assertive, but also do know that sometimes it does hurt to ask. What do I mean by this? Well, there's a prevailing saying that it doesn't hurt to ask. But it's a relatively self-serving phrase if you ask me. There are causes and conditions, consequences to everything. It might not hurt you to ask for an exception, for someone to bend the rules, or to take pity on you. But it might hurt someone else. Someone else might miss an opportunity because you pushed for it. Someone else might lose their job for bending the rules. Or sometimes it's making the other person be the bad guy, the person who has to say no and feel guilty about ruining your opportunity. Now, there are certainly times when you should speak up for yourself and do ask questions if you have them. But please be prepared to accept the answer gracefully, even if the answer is no. You'll probably find that more opportunities come your way when you are polite and reasonable than if you take any goodwill with being overly pushy. 12. Explore, travel, date while you have the chance. I know that when you're young, it feels like you never have enough time, money, or resources. It can be easy to say, oh, I'll travel when I have a job, or I'll move somewhere else in a few years. But if you keep saying that, then that time will never come. There will always be obligations, competing opportunities, or unfortunate circumstances that arise. Take the time when you're relatively free and young and have the time to explore. Travel the world as much as you can. Meet as many new people as possible. Yes, online dating doesn't have to be scary. That's how I met my husband. Test out new hobbies, personalities, identities, experiences. The world is your oyster. My mom always told me to choose where you live after graduation carefully, because once you start putting down roots, it's so much harder to move after that. I established roots in Phoenix, Arizona for grad school, and it took us 7 years and a lot of commitment to finally move back to Hawaii, which we did so last year. But we did that by choice, after having experienced living in other places, and we're now so happy to be back home. And finally, number 13, come home when you need to, including the home orgy. Home can be anywhere. It might be where your parents live, where your friends are, or where you eventually set down your roots. I called Arizona my home for years, but it was still exhausting. The culture is different, the people are different, and I didn't fit in like how I do at home. But I found pockets of home where I could. After a lot of trial and error, my husband and I found restaurants nearby that had food similar to Hawaii. I cooked more, especially with my grandma's recipes. And I once almost cried when visiting the Arizona Buddhist temple. Why? Well, it's very clearly Arizona-esque, with its cacti and dirt gravel everywhere. Nothing about the scenery is like beautiful, luscious Makawao. Yet, the Shinran statue in the front, the temple bell hanging on the building, the Amida statue when you walk in, were all reminiscent of home. It was a dose of familiarity in the middle of the desert and helped me immensely with my homesickness. I encourage you to do the same and find your own pockets of home wherever you are. So, those were my 13 life lessons learned over the past 13 years. Where will you be in the next 13 years? How will the world have changed? Will you be a doctor finishing your residency? Will you start your own business, have a family, travel the world? Will AI have taken over society? A lot will change in 13 years, but I hope that maybe, wherever you are, whatever the world is like, you'll be invited back here to Makawao to speak at Tyrus's class of 2037 Baccalaureate Service. Congratulations to the class of 2024, Kaylee, James, and Tyrus. I can't wait to see where you'll be in the next 13 years and beyond.
If you want to comment, some comments to Emmy, she's, I think, Emmy at the Hong Kong Ganji. She has an email, so if you wish to respond and thank her. Beautiful message. Okay, Kaylee, 13 years. I won't be here, but you'll be here, okay? Dr. Kaylee. Or James, James too, okay, 13 years. I'll put that on the calendar, 13 years. What year would that be? Okay.
37.
All right. Now, Reverend Carey will traditionally give a congratulatory message to our graduates, but he's at home recovering from a COVID infection. So here's his message. What's his message? Oh, he said, okay, graduates. Oh, Lucy's voice. What is Lucy's voice? Hi. Be good. Remember, graduates, be good. And Barkley says, but not too much. Okay. All right. Now, besides the graduates, thank you. And we have our drama school students, class of 2024. And we've got to thank the parents too for bringing their keikis to temple. If it wasn't for the parents, we won't have drama school. True? Okay. Now, this is from Auntie Karen, and this was also published in a newsletter, but here are, says, congratulations, Tori, Benjamin, Kenneth, Lindsay, Dylan, Rhea, Kalena, Tyrus, Mia, Ace, Lena, and Kave. You did a fine job listening to the Dharma, participating in activities, and concentrating when needed to. And as a former teacher, I wish I had all these kids in my regular class. They're excellent. Words. And these are words and thoughts from Reverend Uno from Pasadena Buddhist Temple and BTK Society. And this is for our Dharma School students, so listen. When your parents speak, focus on what they're saying. When playing sports, focus on playing that sport. When doing chores, focus on completing that chore. What is important is to do your best on whatever you're doing. Live in the present and be thankful to be alive today to enjoy it. Namo Amitabha. Now, I would like to, our Dharma school students, would like to come up? Come on up. Okay. We will have Tori. Come on up, Tori. Benji. Kalena and Tyrus. Okay, come. Okay, Tori. Have a great summer. Okay. Benji, have a great summer. And Kalena.
Thank you.
Okay, and Tyrus. Can you have a picture, please? Over here.
Sure, we stand with them.
Okay.
Everybody together. Okay.
Hold your. There we go.
Okay.
Maybe you can put the envelope in the back.
Yeah. It's okay.
It's okay.
Move in.
Come on.
No, sure. Move in. Yeah, okay. Sorry. I'm biting today. Thank you. Okay. One more. Just wait. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Got it. Okay. Thank you so much.
We do have a break now. Today's recognition day. We have a break in June, July, August. We'll see everyone back in September. So have a safe summer. Okay, and again, thank you very much, children, for attending. And I'd like to thank Auntie Karen, who's now in Vegas, and Auntie Marilyn for doing the financials. Thank you. Oh my, thank you. And Auntie Sharon. But also the other aunties who come and assist us during the Dharma school. And if you know anyone who would like to attend, please inform them of our first and third Sundays of each month. We'll be having Dharma school. Okay, and please rise if you're able, and we'll sing Ondoku song, which will be found on the screen. Please remain standing for the singing of the Nembutsu. Saying the name is in itself mindfulness. Mindfulness is the Nembutsu. The Nembutsu is Namo Amida Butsu, Shinran Shonin. Oops, sorry. Oh, second. What we have? Okay. Floyd will lead us in the gratitude meditation.
Relax. Think of all the things that you're grateful for. Be present.
Thank you very much for joining our daughter's family service today. And once again, congratulations to all the graduates, and may your day be filled with aloha. Announcements, I have one here. Yeah, it's, there is a Zoom presentation talking about community trauma and pathways to healing by Kevin Karamoto, Dr. He's in the University of Hawaii Manoa Center of Aging. Is June 8th from 9 to 10. There are no ili honganji. Of course, we're not going to go on the plane. We can zoom in. And if you're interested, I'll just read what is it all about, right? Okay, we live in a world where bad news travels fast, isn't that true? Throughout the day and for weeks, if not months on end, we often hear stories about traumatic events such as natural disasters, acts of violence that cause death and suffering, and human conflicts that turn residential communities into war zones. How does repeated exposure to bad news affect our emotional health as individuals and as community? Let's talk about community trauma and pathways to healing at this free community event open to the public. And if you're interested, there is a site, Mo'ili Honganji, that you can go to. It's on June 8th from 9 to 10:30. It's a seminar. It said, please sign up with your temple office by June 6th. I guess so. Is that right, Allison? Sign at the temple, can they go Mo'ili?
The Zoom site is right at Honganji.
Oh, the Zoom site is on Honganji to register.
No,
to Zoom, but
group session, group meet.
Oh, okay, so they can just go to Honganji on June 8th from 9 to 10. You everybody heard that now? 9 to 10:30. I know it's a very busy day, June 8th, for the garage sale setup and all that. Okay, any questions? Okay, anything else?
Yep. This Tuesday, June 4th, and on the last Tuesday of June, we will have bond dance practice at 6 p.m. in the social hall. So please come and join us.
Anybody else have something to say? Okay. Well, everyone, and thank you for those who brought refreshments today, and please go to the hall and enjoy some refreshments and socializing. Okay, and may your day be filled with aloha. See you next week.
Sharon,
Yeah.
I didn't know James and Catherine, the preschool. Yeah.
We can.
She's not included. Yeah.